Hi, this is Jason Gong. I'm first year PhD student at Department of Communication at UC Davis, and here I'm introducing one of our recent project about media switching behaviors. Here we are introducing a information foraging model to explain media switching behavior. So our research question specifically is when and why people switch on media. And here we are introducing the information foraging model. So the foraging model first was introduced by ecologists to describe animals' foraging behavior on different foraging patches. So what I mean by foraging patches is that the animals' foraging resources is clustered as patches like different trees, different patches of grass, or different ponds of water. And the animal, when they are foraging, they are constantly deciding whether or not to stay in the current patch or to switch the current patch to explore alternative resources. And the mathematical model basically suggests that the rate of staying in the current patch is decreasing as people are consuming the resources in the patch. However, the value of switching, which is the value, which the ratio of value in the environment and the switching cost remains relatively constant. So when the value of staying decreases to the point which equals to the value of switching, then the animal will decide to switch rather than staying in the current patch. Information foraging model is suggested in 1999 by Pereira and Carr. Is extend the foraging model to humans' information foraging behavior. It basically suggests that actually the information resources for humans is also clustered as patches like books, libraries, or songs, and it assumes that people's foraging rate of the current patch also decreases as people know more and more about the information patches like a song, like a book. So as the rate is decreasing, however, the switching value, which is the ratio between the value in the environment and the switching cost, remains constant. So they suggest that people evaluate the value of switching as determined by the availability of alternative information and the switching cost. Then, they basically suggest that people switching decision is a function of availability of alternative information, the value of information in the current patch, and the switching cost. So we basically made a similar hypothesis that people switch faster when the cost for switching is low, when people switch slower when the availability of alternative information is low, and people switch slower when the information value for the current information patch is high. Then we design a behavioral task to test our hypothesis. This we call postcard switching task. In the task, the participants are viewing a postcard book, and on different pages of the book there are 4 landscaping pictures, which is beautiful to view, and we manipulate the information value by the novelty. The pictures, the photos are either repeated and will manipulate as novel. The participant have never seen the picture before. We manipulate the availability of alternative information as in a block design. It's manipulated as the probability of high novel photos. And accessibility, which is the switching cost, is manipulated as the effort cost to switch the slide. So the participant need to press 1 button or 3 buttons or 5 buttons to switch to the next page. Then for our first hypothesis, there is significant evidence says that the novelty has a positive effect on the switching behavior. So when the novelty increases, the time they spend in the current patch increases, which means more information value slows down people's switching behavior. So for the availability of alternative information and the switching, we did not find a significant effect. For switching cost, to our surprises, actually there is significant effect for switching costs, but contradictory to our expectation that more switching costs actually facilitate people's switching behavior rather than slows it down. So our analysis did not fully support the foraging model of media switching because there is insignificant effect of availability. However, there is still some interesting findings that we would like to talk about and share. So first, more switching cost speeds up switching behavior rather than slows switching behavior down. And the information value, which is novelty in the current study, slows down the switching behavior. So these two evidences we think might supported the argument that media users tend to maximize the information value through their switching media contents behaviors.